Hello, good morning, investor and corporate. Welcome to SET Digital Roadshow first quarter 2022 performance review. This section will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. Company will start the section by 30 minutes presentation, followed by 15-minute Q&A. And during Q&A, investor may leave your question in meeting room chat box or use raise your hand function. We will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. So may I now invite SCG Packaging Public Company Limited to start the presentation, please. Thank you very much.
So good morning, everyone. So this is a good opportunity for us to once again recap the situation. It has been quite a while already from Q1. This is toward the end of Q2 already. So I think the discussion will be mainly to update on what has been going on and also an opportunity for Q&A later. So let's start from the first area that we want to update, which is on the growth trajectory or growth path. As you can see here, our growth is remain intact in terms of how we execute the growth strategies, and that's follow the T model that we have explained earlier in terms of our comprehensive horizontal breadth as well as the vertical depth of integration. You can see from this picture here that the T model that we want to replicate in Thailand into our major countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines. The progress as is shown in the darker shaded area of the T, or you can actually see from the index on top, the color index, to see the completeness of our portfolio or our footprint in various countries. So let's start from Thailand, when we have actually established all areas of operation, starting from the very vertical, very back end of the value chain of the fiber business in terms of recycling center. We have packaging paper production, we have fiber-based packaging, polymer packaging, as well as food service, and also in terms of packaging solution. And we look at Vietnam, which is a key country next to Thailand. We can see that we have already established our operations in most of the area. For example, in food service, we have a GoPack operation in Vietnam. Also, in terms of polymer, we have Vatico, which is a flexible packaging, as well as Tuitan, which is a rigid plastic packaging. So the only thing now to ramp up in Vietnam is in terms of packaging solution, where we try to integrate all the operations and all the offerings for our customers and for consumers. Anyway, there's still room for growth in Vietnam in terms of our size. In Indonesia, we have, in terms of fiber-based packaging, both the upstream like Infaja, as well as downstream that we have multiple box plants there. So we are looking for the opportunity to expand into polymer packaging in Indonesia, as well as starting to do the solution business. In the Philippines, we just completed the expansion of the upstream packaging paper, which we are #1 in the country. So we need to try to establish the team model by having more presence in terms of downstream box plant, as well as in terms of the polymer in the future. So that's our growth strategy in terms of T model and where we are. So next, I just want to recap on the strategies, the key strategies that we have. These strategies have been with us since last year, but just to emphasize that we follow these 4 strategies going forward as well. In 2022, from the first quarter in terms of quality growth, the first quarter of this year was actually the first quarter that we show the consolidated result of all 3 M&Ps that we did in last year combined. Delta Lab, when we start to consolidate in December of 2021. So the first quarter of this year represent the full performance in Delta Lab, as well as we have the startup of a key operation in the Philippines, which has successfully commercial run the packaging paper plant there in February already. In terms of customer solution, we continue to work toward that front by offering new products, innovative products, as well as in terms of sustainable products through our R&D capabilities. And we co-create with customer mostly by jointly of our technical team, product design. So we discuss the requirement with consumer and the customer who are end users of our packaging and develop unique solutions for them. Operation excellence is very important in this time where we have the industry is facing a high cost pressure from raw material input as well as the energy price. So what we can do to enhance our operation excellence within our plan or our operations, that would be the key for cost reduction, which is an ongoing effort that we have done throughout the pandemic and now throughout the situation of high volatility in terms of the supply tightness of our raw materials. Lastly, in terms of ESG, we still emphasize to become the leader in ESG. So we have already submit and commit to a science-based target initiative for our 20% reduction of GHG in greenhouse gas by 2030. So that's a recap of the 4 strategies. Just next to touch briefly on the financial performance. This is a little bit outdated because it's a Q1 picture, but anyway, it's noted to mention that in Q1 we managed to achieve top line growth both in terms of Q-on-Q and year-on-year. Particularly year-on-year, we achieved a 34% growth in Q1. In terms of EBITDA and profit, the pictures are pretty much in line in that we achieve Q-on-Q growth, and that's due to more favorable position in terms of raw material costs. That is, we are able to expand the margin slightly compared to last year. But if we compare the whole quarter to the first quarter of last year, then you can see that it's still down in terms of profitability, and that's because the cost situation in 2022 is still a challenge when compared to 2021. So next we look at the portfolio overall. Okay, the portfolio that we have, if we look on the left-hand side, we can see that our downstream portion of our revenue has expanded from 2 years ago. It was 32% back in 2020, now it's 37%. And what is notable is in terms of the polymer packaging, which is expanding from single digit of 6% to double that. Now it's about 12% already, and that helps to achieve the solution portion increase in terms of customer and consumer link as well. In terms of geographical market, we can see that we have expand outside ASEAN, outside Thailand in ASEAN for the past 2 years, and that start to show the result already. So our Thailand operation is now less than our ASEAN ex Thailand. So Thailand operation is about 41% in terms of revenue, where ASEAN ex Thailand is 43%. And we start to have revenue from areas beyond ASEAN, like in Europe, from GoPack and also the Thailand. So going forward, we expect to see that this picture will probably have more of the ASEAN contribution into our revenue portfolio. So next one, we'll talk a little bit in terms of future. That was a picture of Q1. So going forward, what's going to happen? For packaging, we believe that the growth is still there. Normally, the growth in packaging, the key driver will be from GDP or the consumption and export of the country. Normally, it's 1 or 2% above GDP. If a country is expected to have a GDP of 5%, we expect the packaging demand to be in the range of 6-7%. That's one example. Another key is in terms of when you look at the consumption per capita, in terms of packaging consumption, the ASEAN country is still quite low compared to more developed nations, whether Japan, Korea, or US or Europe. So that means that in the future, as the country grow, people will consume more, and that will mean that the packaging needs will be higher. So that's the key growth driver for packaging. If we look at in terms of the area of high growth, we can see that healthcare is one of those areas. So that's one of the reasons we enter Delta Lab. So we expect the healthcare growth to be in the range of 6 to 8%. So that's far higher than the normal packaging. So that's the area where we continue to explore more fully. E-commerce, of course, this is notable. We still expect to have roughly about 20% per year growth in terms of e-commerce, typically in countries around ASEAN. And also another front is on the rising demand for sustainable packaging. So these are the key drivers that would actually help, propel us to address these drivers and adjust our strategy and action for that. So when we look to what future portfolio, we expect to see more consumer link portion going forward, as well as more ASEAN growth, and also in terms of our downstream packaging, which should be contributing higher. So that's a recap from the part of the and going forward. So my colleague Panata will talk more specifically on the deals and what we have achieved and what we are planning to do.
Yes, for this page, you see is very good progressive growth and manifest to future to fulfill the future growth since we entered to IPO on Q4 2020. So you will see that our expansion has two prongs of strategy with the M&Ps and organic expansion. So let's start with the upper part, that is the M&Ps that we acquisition with the high growth. So this is one of our efforts to achieve the acquisition, such as the Sovi that we acquisition since 2020, which is a top box player in Vietnam with the high growth segment. And then we enter to GoPack with the full service packaging to serve evolving demand with the extensive customer network in US and Europe. And so for Dutan is a very interesting M&P, which is can fulfill Vietnam tea model with the leading position in rigid packaging. For Intan is a fiber packaging in Indonesia that allow us to enhance for the service level and also integration level with upstream population. And for the latest one, the Lab allow us to entry to the healthcare and medical supply segment. So this is for key 5 M&Ps, and we believe for the pursuing M&P with the high growth segments in the future and going forward with the additional M&Ps. And also you will see lower part for the organic expansion. So the lower part is the some of the project has a growth bolt on from the past M&P, such as Batico, Risi, or P-Pack, which is a polymer packaging that we used to M&P in the past, and then we can go expansion for the organic to serve along the consumer growth. And also for the Plaza is the one of upstream project that we can expand for the Surabaya plant to serve for the East Java area. And also we also started for paper machine number 3 in Philippines on last 3 months in March. And for the ongoing project, that most are on track, which I will elaborate on the following page. So all in all, you will see this is a part of the our effort for the SCGP team to drive our aspiration to achieve double revenue growth in 2025. Next is the latest one for fiber packaging expansion in Thailand. You will see for this project with to support for the customer growth opportunity, especially in Thailand for FMCG or food MNC customer. And this is will allow us to reinforce for the leadership position in Thailand as well. And also in terms of cost competitiveness, we believe that this project will evaluate our production efficiency with the latest available technology that we will invest, and will allow us to improve for the logistics cost and service level to our customer as well. So I think in summary, this project will enable us to enhance for our consumer link and also enhance for the reinforce our leading position with a budget of around 2.5 billion baht, and we expect to start up in next year 2023. Next is the 3 ongoing project that I mentioned earlier. So you will see the first one on the left-hand side, which is the full service packaging. This is one of the bolt-on strategy with our MFP with GoPack, which is we can grow from customer network, especially for Europe and US. So this project is enable us to expand the organic expansion in the short period of time. So you will see that we have already started up for the replacement machine in Thailand and Vietnam in March, and also modern pulp in Thailand. We expect to start up in this quarter. And if you see the middle one, which is a project that is the flagship investment for the new production base in North Vietnam, which is now on progress for the EIA and land preparation process. And we expected to commercial startup in the next 2 years, 2024. And for the right-hand side, this is a project for packaging paper expansion in Philippines, which allow us to reinforce our leadership position in terms of upstream operation in Philippines. And we have already ramped up for machine and sales in March this year. So we can continue with the next page on the M&P synergy. So you will see that in overall, before we enter to M&P, we have the acquisition like systematic that we call pre and post merger and partnership or PTMI, that we try to initiate or maximize value to the two companies, either M&P synergy in terms of customer networks that we can enlarge fast growing segment of consumer, and also we can extend the footprint in terms of potential markets beyond, maybe beyond the ASEAN like GoPack. Then we can enter into US and Europe market. And also if you see in terms of operational excellence, this is one of the our M&P synergy that we can have more multiple locations, and this allows us to improve for the operational efficiency and production optimization. So in terms of cost saving, I think this is one of the interesting projects that we can like do for the pool sourcing of the key raw materials, and also extend to the financing optimization as well. And in terms of know-how, this allows us to leverage best practice in terms of technology and in terms of management know-how for the collaboration among the company. So on the right-hand side, this is a good example for highlight synergy that we did to the our key strategic M&P, such as Sovi, which is leading fiber packaging in Vietnam, that allow us to extend to be a good catalyst for leverage green carbon technology in here. And moreover, I think Dutan, which is leading position for rigid packaging in Vietnam, allow us to double performance and polymer packaging business size from previously we have around 6%, and then now we have 12% of total revenue for overall polymer packaging. And also the last one for Delta Lab, I think this is the interesting project as well, because it allows us to enter into the fast-growing segment such as the labware and medical market. And this is a very good opportunity to leverage our know-how and sales to ASEAN as well. So next is will be about the ESG, which is one of our aspiration. You will see that we set the target for net zero in 2050, and also we set the near-term target in 2030 to reduction GHG 20% lower. And you will see that part of our effort it will be on the two-pronged strategy, which is one of the reduction of GHG that we trying to increase for renewable energy, such as biomass power plant and study for the biogas to utilize and increase renewable energy proportion. And also we study to reduce and save energy for the production and energy efficiency projects. And also in terms of second strategy, we're trying to study on the GST offset, such as the Natural Climate Solution Initiative. And also we're trying to study on the technology adoption about the carbon capture utilization. And this is the way to evaluate our net zero pathway. You will see on the lower part that recently we just committed to participate with science-based target, which is a professional third party that will allow us to enable for the setting target of GSG and also have a good system to monitor and to be achieved for the near-term target. So you will see following page. This is a good summary for the award and recognition that we received for ESG. So in overall, with our continuous effort, you will see on the left-hand side that we receive and participate in many kind of awards like TSSI, Rising Star Sustainability Award from SET, and also we join with the and we can receive and granted for the certificate of international standard, like our polymer packaging operations such as VC and PPAC Thailand that we receive for ISCC standard, and also the latest one that we certified with the circular mark for some our circular products such as Fresh Bio, which is a full service packaging that can biodegradable, and also for the R1 flexible packaging, the polymer packaging that use only mono-material and allows for the easy to be recycled. So this is all for the strategy, and I would like to hand over to Khun Dhanajit for summary.
Yes, so just to recap, I think we are now about mid-year already in 2022, and it has proven to be quite a challenging year in terms of macro volatility. So I think we have to operate in this kind of challenge. And what we are seeing is that this is probably going to persist for some time. Anyway, we are thinking that at least three things will still remain. First is that we will still push for revenue growth, top line growth, which we expected to reach over 140 billion baht in terms of revenue for this year. The second one, which is very important for our long-term success, is in terms of customer solution. So becoming a consumer packaging solution, try to match the evolving demand trends in response to the change in consumer behavior as well as the external environment. That's very important. And that's a key that we continue to work on jointly with the customers. And the last one, which will be with us for a very long time, is in terms of sustainability, which for that front, we already announced our commitment for net zero in 2050. So that's how we will remain doing for this year and going forward. So this completes our presentation. The later part will be for Q&A, which we can start. Thank you.
There are no questions. Okay, the section has come to an end. So on behalf of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, I would like to thank you, investor and corporate, for joining the conference. We look forward to welcome you all again in the next quarter. Thank you very much and have a good day. ขอบคุณนะคะ
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ